you need something, just give me a holler.
Thank you so much. Is Arjun already gone?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
His daughter had to go to sing.
Yeah, he had a confirmation thing he was going to.
Want a little tour?
Oh, sure. Let me make sure where he's at. He's gone. And where did everybody else go to eat?
I think they went to bed.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So they're here.
Yeah, the guys, they came 3 hours ago.
So Dwight and all them are here sleeping.
Yeah, they just
oh, I didn't know
crashed.
that. Okay.
There's the 3 of them up there sleeping.
Okay. I thought they were around. Okay.
Yeah. I think Adrian took the car, right?
Yes, I think he did. Yeah.
Oh, the garden out here.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your name?
Stefan.
Okay. And we're in Denmark.
Yeah.
What's the name of the town?
Everdrup.
What up?
It's a village of, 232 people.
Wow. Very small.
Yeah.
So this would be considered the backyard,
Yeah.
even though it's closer to the road.
Yeah, I don't know what you call
Well, I would consider this the front of the house, but
Yeah, it is.
yeah, but you call it the garden.
Yeah, I think maybe in the old times, maybe they had the entrance here. It's
Oh, okay.
a 140-year-old poorhouse.
Wow. What do you mean poorhouse?
Poorhouse for poor people.
Poor people lived here.
Yeah, so it's like the city made the poorhouse.
Yeah.
The people that couldn't provide for themselves, they came here, lived here, worked on the farm.
So that's why it's so large, because it had to have a lot of rooms for all the poor
exactly.
people, the poorhouse. So when they say you're going to end up in the poorhouse, this is what they're
That's it.
talking about. This is a pretty nice house to be a poorhouse.
Yeah, they knew how to build back then. It's 140 years old. That's
Wow.
what you look at, right?
That's incredible. Yeah, it's beautiful out here.
You don't get many structures in the States that old, right?
No, they tear stuff down in the States.
Yeah, mostly timber frame. And
Yeah.
I'm half Iowan. I used to live in Iowa.
Oh, really?
So it's funny when my cousins come here, they're always like, "Whoa, look at all this old
Yeah.
the castles and stuff."
Yeah.
You know, it's like 500-year-old.
Yeah, there's no 500-year-old anything in America.
No.
They'll tear it down and build a car wash if you're not sharp.
There's now everything's starting to come out. In the summer, all this is just full of perennials and flowers.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
I just got some of the spring stuff coming out. So that room up there, the big room's the Mayor's Lounge, it was called. It was the old, where the city council would used to meet.
Really?
Yeah.
And they would stay up there. But that's the big room that the 4 beds are in, that the guys are in. That's the mayor's room.
It is just for having meetings, you know,
Wow.
for the city council.
So even though this was a poorhouse, this was kind of the central part of the city.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
It's there's some other older structures, but nothing like this old and big. You know.
Yeah.
And a lot of these houses around it were built in the 70s.
Yeah.
A lot of my neighbors, they built the houses themselves, like late 70s.
So what is this construction of the house? I know it's brick on the outside.
Yeah, it's brick all the way through.
So it's solid brick, so there's no wood in it at all.
Yeah,
The beams I
only
saw.
for the beams, yeah.
Yeah, for the
upstairs.
roof, yeah.
And then they go through the floor as well, like massive beams.
Yeah.
That support the floor.
Very cool.
The walls, they're like half a meter thick, like
Wow.
almost 2 feet thick. Yeah.
So that thing, it'll be there forever.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's amazing.
The roof, original roof, slate.
Yeah. Very heavy.
So it's 140 years old.
So that is original.
Yeah.
The roof is original.
Yeah.
Now you cut those skylights in, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Put like 10 of them in to get some light upstairs.
Yeah. That's incredible.
And there was nothing upstairs. There was just no insulation, heating,
Yeah.
electricity. You put
So you had to
everything-
add all that.
Yeah.
It's really nice looking. Really nice. So what are the buildings in the back, all those barns?
It's my workshops.
Yeah, I saw it looked like some lights on back there
Yeah.
where we pulled
I
up.
was just working right now.
So there's a basement.
Yeah, that's I have my foundry down there.
What do you mean? So you cast metal?
Yeah.
Really?
Like silver and gold and
Really?
bronze and stuff.
I like that.
Jewelry.
So how are you heating it?
It's induction heating, so it's like a huge machine that.
Because it
heats
takes
to-
1900 degrees to heat. Was it gold?
Yeah.
1900. That's hard. I do a little bit of that kind of stuff. I do aluminum, which doesn't take
Yeah.
that much heat. So you've got all that down in the basement.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, down there's the furnace, pellet furnace that heats the whole house.
Yeah. Wow,
So
that's
something
very
like
cool.
25 kilowatt furnace.
And you've got modern windows in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a big furnace to heat this whole place.
Yeah, and it's not that well insulated either. We can't really insulate it. Well, you could, but it would be a huge work because you have to add the insulation inside, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not something.
So what were all these buildings originally?
Well, the barns, they're probably older than the house, but the poorhouse would have their own fields and then their own animals.
Their
and
own
stuff.
workers and animals and everything.
And the poor people would work in the farm,
Yeah.
and some of the poor people would be sent to other farms, and the poorhouse would get the money for it
Huh.
because they were providing for them.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, that makes sense.
it's just they actually the expense for them to be here, they had to pay that back if they would get a job or they would leave the poorhouse. They
Yeah.
would have to pay it back. The expense.
So they had a fixed expense, a cost that they figured
Yeah,
every day. You stay here, you owe us this much money.
exactly.
You can work it off or pay it.
Yeah,
Well, that's good. That's, there's nothing wrong with helping people, but when you pay them to not do anything, they take advantage of it. It's
Yeah.
human nature.
yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Very nice.
Well, it's kind of part of Danish society though, because you always have money
Yeah.
in some sense. Because if you don't work, if you don't have a job, then you get money from the city.
Yeah.
I guess in the States you do as well. You get like.
Yeah, but they pay them not to work at all.
Yeah.
If they don't work, they still get money.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
becomes
so-
a lifestyle. Then their
Yeah.
kids do the same thing, and their kids do the same thing.
Get the food stamp.
Yeah. And welfare.
and
Hmm.
welfare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of as well because if you haven't worked for 2 years, it's hard to find any motivation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, if you're still eating,
the employers are not happy about it either.
Yeah.
Somebody who haven't been working.
Well, when they started the welfare system in America, they never believed that a able-bodied man, especially, would not go out and work.
No.
And but they won't. There's people that are very able-bodied; they just won't work.
Yeah, I think it's something. The culture has changed. Because of 50 years ago or 80 years ago, it would be
Yeah.
inconceivable for somebody to not take a job. if
Exactly.
They could. And most people that have enough honor to want to provide for their family.
And that has to do with honor. You're right, but they don't have enough.
No.
There's no shame in it anymore. There used to be shame in it. Used to be some shame.
Some people, they take pride in it today to
Oh yeah.
to exploit the system.
Yeah, absolutely they do.
As much as they can.
They don't mind telling people that they're doing that. I certainly wouldn't do it, but there's people that do, and they think they're showing off by doing it.
I don't understand it because I think I maybe been unemployed 3 months of my life,
Yeah.
and then I can always find another job.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, if you want to work, you can. There's always work. So this is the real thing, chickens. Where are the chickens at? Oh, I see them over there.
Yeah, and there's 4 of them in the nest,
So you get, how many eggs can you get?
7, 8 eggs.
7 a day.
Just cut down all these trees and brush here, so it's
Made them a little room.
messy. But if you like having a walk later, you can go down here, down
Yeah.
the road by the farm, and go through the forest. It's a nice little walk,
Yeah.
half an hour.
It's beautiful out here.
Yeah, and I sit in there in the workshop and work
Yeah.
in front of the window. And
Oh yeah,
the
you can
deer.
see out. I saw you had that big window on the other end, so you got
Yeah.
one on this side too.
Yeah,
Very
you
nice.
got deer, pheasants. You could hear hares,
Very nice.
pigeons coming around.
So yeah, you did put a bunch of skylights in.
Yeah, 10 of them.
That was a lot of work to cut that roof.
Yeah. Also with the insulation, with everything, I calculated that we spend around 2,000 hours plus extra. So that's about a year's work
Wow,
for one man.
amazing.
I had a carpenter to help me. So
And what is this roof made out of?
this is
Is it?
asbestos.
That's what I was thinking. It was kind of an asbestos type material.
It's kind of like concrete. Today they can't put asbestos in them, but the ones with asbestos, they last forever.
Yeah, but it's kind of, it's hard. They make it in
Yeah,
the States, but it's almost like paper.
It's like concrete.
Yeah,
This.
it's heavy.
Yeah.
But like you say, it'll last forever. I notice that in town they're putting something on it that's really shiny. They're
Yeah,
sealing
they
them.
paint them.
Is that what it is? A paint?
Yeah. And they think they think that it will last longer, but actually it won't.
Really?
So.
Because I figured it was a
but it looks
treatment
nicer.
that they were doing.
Yeah. They wash them off and paint them, but it doesn't really do anything to the durability.
Doing great. This is what a plug looks like in Europe, in some parts of Europe, most parts of Europe. And there's an old-fashioned wall plug. And you can actually turn each side of the plug off. And it won't fit like that. You have to do it like that to be the right width, and then you can turn them off and on. That's the size of a lot of backyards in Europe. I think that is a ring sizer. He said he did metal casting. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hello there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Are we on the air?
We indeed are.
Toodaloo.
Is that what you say here?
Coffee.
Toodaloo?
Toodaloo. How you do?
Is that really it here? Okay.
Oh yeah, it is.
Toodaloo?
Goddag.
Good hour.
Good day.
Yeah, good hour.
Or farewell. See you later or something like that.
Yeah, off.
And one thing that is very quite normal in Denmark, and that's always that's quite Danish tradition. Over here, you always say thank you for the food. So, and that's tak for mad.
Tack from Finland.
Yeah, this is quite standard. In fact, it's perceived as rude if you don't.
Tack from Finland.
Tack from out. It's what you say when you basically leave the table. It's almost like automatic. Tack from out.
See, I do that when I'm at Mel's Diner. I talk to Mel. So
To whom?
I talk to Mel at Mel's Diner. It's a TV show, Alice.
Yeah.
His name's Mel, so talk for Mel.
Tack from out. Yeah, tack from out. Oh, you were talking. Yeah. Right. Good.
Sit up in your seat, they're going over
You'll
your
have to
head.
forgive me because initially I couldn't hear it because
Yes,
the
I
acoustics here give kind of a ringing sound to your
Yes.
voice. Yeah.
Incredible.
Have you flown the drone today?
No, but I will in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What is that?
It's the drone.
That is the drone?
This is the drone.
Ha! Look
This
at
is
that
the little
thing.
fella.
Isn't that cute? Mini.
It's a Jim Murray about 18
wow.
years ago.
Interior plywood.
Yep.
That's
You
really
touch
cool.
it.
And that's Ronnie.
Ronnie, yeah. I interviewed all of those guys. That's James,
Yeah.
Jerry Chef.
See, I wouldn't recognize
Glenn
Jerry just out on the street, you know, it's Glenn.
Glenn D.
Yeah,
Glenn
Glenn is
D.
very Asian looking.
He has
The
lost.
older he gets, the more Asian
He has lost a lot of weight.
Was Ron Foyer with the group then at that time?
Ron,
No, Ron
Foyer.
Foyer.
No, he wasn't there. He wasn't there.
He was in
But he's been sometimes on these screen shows.
Yeah.
Ron Foyer, nice guy.
RF the B3 guy, RF the B3 man. That's his handle for the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Maybe I should bring him over at some point.
He's
I
good.
don't know if he
He's
still
a
does
good,
it.
He's a good player too.
Yeah.
He's a really good player.
It's very cool.
I was very lucky to interview all those guys. I did this book. I mentioned it to you.
Yeah, you gave it to us.
Yeah, I gave it to you actually. So I used those quotes throughout the book. Look, this is interesting. This is something not a lot of people know.
The Matador suit.
The Matador suit. Well, that's one thing. But the bass player here, because people always have this kind of idea that the TCB band was a constant. Well, it wasn't. Back in '73, Elvis had a bass player named Emery Gordy. That's Emery Gordy. And in '74, he had Doug Bardwell.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know Jerry had left.
Yeah.
For that, but wasn't.
So that's the only other two fill-ins though.
And another thing that I think is interesting pointing out, people always kind of surprised when I mention it, because when you talk about James Burton, people always associate him with the pink paisley guitar. But here, and this is the only time he used it, in these photos, he has a white,
Or what we call a blonde telly.
a blonde telly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Duke Bardwell and Emery Gordy are the only two bass players other than Jerry.
When you're talking about the road shows, yes.
Yes. But I'm not talking about in the studio. just
In
on
the
road.
studio, they use different.
Right. And is it Duke that was really more of a guitar player? That
Duke
Elvis
was more of
would get from
a
to?
guitar player, and I think Elvis and Duke will tell you that himself, didn't always see eye to eye. For whatever reason, their personalities didn't match. I think this has sometimes been misrepresented, because it's always used as an example of how Elvis was going down the tubes in the final years. Like, oh, and he was so rude to this guy. And but the thing is, they both had headstrong personalities. And I've worked with Duke for 6 years, so I'm seeing both angles. I think it's a situation that has been misunderstood and misinterpreted by a lot of biographers, because they're always using it as an example of look at that, how sad Elvis was really in a bad shape here. Well, no, it's more complicated than that. I think we all experience in life and in working situations that there's one guy where the chemistry, for whatever reason, just doesn't work. And it's the way it is. And that's the way it was between Elvis and Doug Bartwell. Of course, it didn't help that he was not a great bass player. Elvis liked busy bass players. He loved Jerry Sheff. I mean, he loved guys that really gave him a solid foundation. Elvis was a musician's guy, and he admired guys like Ronnie Todd, Bob Lanning. He loved James Burton's playing. In fact, in early '76, there was talk of the band quitting. And Elvis thought so much of James Burton that he was going to have him replaced by 2 guitar players. And some of the musicians, as you know, quit back then. This was in March of '76. But James came back at the very last moment. Of course, for that tour, he had Larry London on drums and Shane Keister on piano. That's actually very interesting to listen to, because the playing, it sounds like, people are saying it sounds, rejuvenated, it sounds fresh. The playing is really crisp. So that's, for us Elvis collectors, it's fun to see those small differences in the band, because it sounds really different.
They were session musicians.
They were great players.
In Nashville.
Yeah. But Elvis used Shane Keister only for one tour. The story is that the Colonel and Tom Diskin felt that he was too expensive. Yeah. And then Elvis basically got Tony Brown, who was there as part of the group, singing. To play piano for him. And that went okay. But he would also sometimes pick on Tony.
So when was Shane there?
Shane Keister, that was in March of 1976.
Okay, so that was David Briggs and Shane, or
yes,
when
correct.
they hired Tony. So was David there with Shane?
David was there. David was there with Shane, because David started in December of '75.
Okay. Until March of '77.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Or
February.
Right. But
February.
Yeah. Bobby started playing March.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Everly Brothers hits. Really great musician. But Larry London was a really big guy. And Elvis would always say, the next guy on drums is Larry London, and he's about the size of London.
How about sugar and...
There's milk here.
Is that,
But
what
the
is
thing
this?
is, we didn't ask for sugar, so...
Maybe that's milk too, maybe. Or that's... No.
This is an interesting farm.
The alarm goes off.
I'm kind of figuring that there's sugar here somewhere.
But this feels cold.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Probably do it without sugar.
His name is Stefan?
Stefan, yeah.
Stefan.
Yeah. Look, and I mentioned this in last October. It was this banner that Dutch Elvis fans brought Elvis. We're from Holland and going to see Elvis. And Elvis did, of course, appreciate that. He always loved his fans, as you know. Elvis gave the girl, this was a girl called Louisa from Loon. He gave her, a kiss and a scarf. And the scarf, I'm keeping it wrapped, mostly away from the sunlight. But this is that scarf.
Wow.
And she never washed it. So it is in a state that it was in '73. And you can see these small stains here. They are, they could be sweat or makeup.
It's very cool. Have you looked to see if it's got a tag on it anywhere?
A tag? Well, you can look.
Well, I hate to touch it. And
I
does
don't
it
care.
have the signature stamped on it or not?
No, because this was later
What
on.
year was this?
This is 1973.
Okay, so this was probably, well, this would have been the place in Las Vegas made this.
Yeah.
What's it called? I've been there and shot. I filmed
And
there.
this is what she wrote for me. A certificate of authenticity. I, Louisa Verloon, herewith declare that this white scarf with stains was given to me by Elvis Presley during his closing show in Las Vegas on September 3rd of 1973. In all, I saw 6 concerts from August 30th to September 3rd, 1973. During the closing show, I gave Elvis a banner which read, "We're from Holland and going to see Elvis." He read the text, smiled and gave me a kiss, as well as this scarf. The scarf has been in my possession until now and has never been washed. The stains in the scarf are Elvis' sweat. Signed Louisa van Loon, 3rd of May 2002.
Very cool.
So
eating a Danish in Denmark. How ironic.
A Danish in Denmark.
Yeah.
Why not?
Get some more coffee.
That's a Dane for a Dane.
Dane for Dane. Yeah. Well,
How do you say thank you?
dank u wel.
Dank u.
Dank u wel.
So not Dankeschön.
No, ik dank, not that Dankeschön, that's German. In Holland they say
dank u wel.
dank u wel. And dank u wel is the formal one. Dank je wel is the informal version.
Say it again.
Dank u wel
Dank u wel.
is the formal one. But dank je wel is the informal one.
U or je.
Yeah, correct.
Dank u wel. Dank u wel. U wel.
Dank u wel is how you would address, let's say, somebody who's older than you. And dank je wel is somebody who would be the same age or younger. Yeah.
Dank u wel.
Yeah. And to an audience you can do both. It can be both dank u wel or dank je wel.
Not just dank u. That's like thanks.
It's shortish. It's kind of short.
Yeah.
It needs a little more.
Dank u wel. Dank u wel.
En if you want to say it's nice to be in Holland, het is fijn om in Nederland te zijn.
Say it again.
Het is fijn om in Nederland te zijn.
Het is fijn om
In Nederland
in Nederland
te zijn.
te
Te zijn. It is nice, het is fijn, to be in Holland, om in Nederland te zijn. Ja.
It is fun to nail a lot and have this design.
Something like that. Het is fijn om in Nederland te zijn.
You know what it sounds like, Jim, when you're trying to pronounce it?
Yeah.
It sounds like Inspector Clouseau, Steve Martin play when he's trying to say those French words. Or he's French, he's trying to say the English words. That's
Well,
what it
Steve
is.
Martin is pretty good, but
Yeah.
I think nobody did it quite like Peter Sellers. He was excellent.
great.
Yeah.
Is your dog bite?
Dog's bites. That is not my dog.
It's not my monkey.
Elvis loved Peter Sellers.
Oh, he loved him.
Yes.
Yeah. All of that stuff.
Yes.
In fact, you can hear on some of the recordings that he is basically doing Clouseau. There's recordings of that. Yeah. Of Twigs.
This is a copycat Twix. They went all out on the name Get It.
Yeah.
How many meetings you reckon they had about that?
Well, at least they're honest about it.
Yeah, just get it.
Get it. We're snatching your copyrighted products. Get it.
You either want to call it get it or got it.
Or maybe they should have called it Get Us.
Like, what?
Stop it, I'm drinking my coffee.
Yeah.
So you dreamed you were Amish.
I
we were
dreamed we
Amish.
all were Amish. We all had these beards, and
How
I
did
looked
my
out.
beard look on me?
It was blonde.
Blonde beard.
A little.
Even Eddie?
Yeah, everyone had Amish beards. So I'm walking around, and there's all these little creatures. Like there was a porcupine. A porcupine, and it kept trying to get close to me, and I'm like, man, this thing's gonna stick me. I'm trying to stay away from it. And then all of a sudden, this porcupine grows like to this creature, this as tall as this door, and like I can't get away from him. He's throwing these quills at me, and they're busting through these hardwood doors. I just had a weird dream, man.
Where do you get all that stuff from?
I don't know.
This is weird drugs you've
Dreamed it
been
up,
taking.
man, I guess.
You know,
Those fish oils, man.
I dreamed I was eating marshmallows and I woke up and my pillow was gone.
Oh man.
It's because you're sleeping too close to Bob Lanning. These are, I'm not saying these are better, that's up to you guys to decide, but they are heavier. Try this.
They're physically heavy.
They're physically heavier.
Wow, they are. They feel like they're really thick.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Thick and rich and chocolate.
Now you have to try them. You want to try?
Well, I'll video somebody trying.
Somebody wants to try?
No, that's right.
We need one victim.
We need at least one victim.
Okay.
Looks like we have
You
two.
can each take one.
It's heavy.
Here, you want one?
No, it has two inside. We can share this one, no? Give it us.
There's two in every.
Get
You
it.
can also both.
Get it.
Get
Get
it.
it.
Get it.
Yeah, you visit, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Arjun, where'd you say the water
Me
was?
first.
It's in the refrigerator. They put it in there. I'm wondering if it's right here.
It's like, kom hier maar.
Twix.
Twix.
Better or worse? Same?
Okay.
So they rip Twix off.
They changed the name, but it's Twix.
It's a complete rip-off for
Let's
us.
get it, yeah.
So we're here to expose this Danish company that is ripping off Twix. Mars. It's Mars Eat, right?
Let's see who's doing it.
Yeah. You look on the back and it's Mars doing it.
That will be funny. It's actually being done by a company in Germany. It's called Ludwig Schokolade.
Just those darn Germans.
Yeah, the Germans. Again. We have to
You want
help those guys.
The refrigerator, right?
So they went from some of the other stuff that they were doing now is a chocolate conspiracy.
Yeah, the chocolate stuff.
Do you want one?
Yes.
Now you have to try one.
Yes.
So what was the verdict on it? Tastes like a Twix?
That's a little different,
Yeah.
but it's very similar. I don't think it has as much wafer in it. More
Yeah,
as a
probably.
regular Twix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how Danish barbecue chips compare to
Yeah.
American barbecue chips.
This one is called Joe's.
We have Joe's for special occasions.
You know old Joe.
Oh, yeah.
But now you can't just eat that.
Joe Mama.
That has to be only a special occasion.
Yeah, well, let me see. We're here in this beautiful countryside. That's special occasion.
That's special. Yeah. Gone were the days.
Salut.
Really good, actually.
Old Joe. Joe Mama.
Yep. Really good.
Y'all get that? Joe Mama?
But the bad thing will be finding out that these are also from Germany.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they ripped off Joe.
These ones are produced by Roger and Roger. And Roger and Roger are located in Belgium.
Oh,
So, yeah. So,
those are good.
That's a Belgian chip. I want to try Belgian dip.
Yeah.
yeah. You'll get to. We'll be in Belgium next week. And we're
Good.
playing in Antwerp and in Brugge. And Brugge, as you know, is the city of the chocolates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Almost every fourth store is a chocolate store.
Wow.
Yeah. If you want to do something nice for your wife, get her some Belgian chocolate because it's some of the best in Europe.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah,
No, the problem is getting it back.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we went dark.
Give it a little light.
Did you try to?
So that's what Carl looked like
Did
in
you
the
try to
game.
make him look like
Very
Obelix?
That's funny. On Saturday? Oh, you just saying once a year today?
Yeah. Today is Store Bilder Day. It means Great Prayer Day. So it's where people go to church.
But is that every Saturday or just
No,
this Saturday?
just now.
So they go to church
Once a year. No, well, not once a year.
There's some people that go once a year in America.
Once a year.
Easter.
Yeah, Easter.
Or Sunday service, yeah.
Sunday service.
Or Christmas service.
But
yeah.
today is Great Prayer Day here, and it's something special. It's also where a lot of children get confirmated.
And your son got confirmed.
Yeah, today. Yeah, very nice day.
Awesome.
Proud father.
So what does that mean? Confirm.
Well, that he says yes to God
Yes.
and no to the devil. And it's specifically asked, are you denouncing the devil? And then the answer is obviously yes. And are you saying yes to God? And then you get confirmed by God. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a very nice service.
What denomination is that?
I'm sorry?
What denomination? Is that a certain denomination? Is that Catholic or?
No, it's the Danish Christian church, so it would be probably pretty much the same as yours.
Okay, so it's just called the Danish Christian
Yeah,
Church.
Danish Christian church.
So is it state run?
Same.
State run?
No, it's not state run.
Okay.
No, it's run privately. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
You did that before? The scarf?
No, I've never seen it.
Well, it's basically
It's a real thing, baby.
Yeah.
this is the real thing. This.
Yeah.
This is this scarf.
Oh, nice.
It's actually photographed. And the lady that I bought it from, she just kept it in a bank box for 30 years. And what you see on there is what Elvis left on it.
Yeah.
So this is probably the remains from his makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
So, this is the original scarf.
Cool.
I bought it from a Dutch fan. At the time it was in all, I knew her story checked out. That was very easy in this case because she won this trip in a music magazine, Music Express, and it was in all the newspapers because she was only 15, you know, Sheila's age. And she went to Las Vegas to see Elvis Presley. So all the Dutch newspapers and magazines were writing about her. It was a big deal.
Right.
You know, this young girl, and she's going to meet Elvis Presley, and you know, he was the god of sex. So a lot of people were thinking, And young Louisa, she was totally taken aback by Elvis. So every night she would pay the maitre d', you know, like $50. That's what she did back then
Oh, yeah.
to get stage sight. And Elvis, seeing a 15-year-old, well, we know how that one goes. So he really enjoyed that. So every night, she saw 6 concerts, and every night she got a scarf and a kiss.
Oh my God.
Then for the last night, she wanted to give Elvis a gift. And her and a few Dutch friends had made a banner for Elvis. And it said, "We're from Holland and going to see Elvis. Look, this Elvis
cool.
and Charlie." And Elvis was, of course, he loved the banner, he left, and of course, she got a white scarf and a kiss. And that is that scarf.
That's cool.
And that is this scarf.
And you could not buy the kiss, so you had to settle for the scarf.
Yeah.
Just a scarf. Just a scarf, but that's fine. So it's a piece. For me, it's nice. I don't often buy original artifacts because I know that this is a very tricky business. There's a lot of bogus materials out there, unfortunately. But with this, I know that the provenance is 100%. It's rock solid, and like I said, Dutch music magazines and newspapers have written about her, about how she got this scarf. So for me, there is no doubt whatsoever that this is the real deal. So the temptation to get something that was connected to my book was just too good to be true. So I went for it, and I've now had it since 2002.
Nice.
So it's a cool
Very
item.
cool. Yeah.
But you also have a really cool item.
Yeah, I own one of Elvis's personal copies of the Impersonal Life.
Mm-hmm. The book.
Yeah, he gave it to my friend Patty Perry. She was one of the, probably know who she is. She was one of the.
She did his hair.
Yeah. She did his hair for Aloha, and she met him in '61. She was around till '77, and he gave this book to her in '74, and he wrote a whole paragraph in the first page.
Wow.
He wrote to Pat, may you find the happiness and the quiet of spirit and love spoken of in this little book, Elvis Presley. And it's got his notes in it, you know.
Wow.
And she gave it to me.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
So this is an aside, but I would like to point out, if you had a problem with liquor, this would be liquor bottles.
Did you eat 3 of those? No. Oh.
So when we go to that town where there's chocolate, we know where Eddie's going to be. He's going to be strung out on the street.
Might as well face it, you're addicted to twigs.
Well, I really appreciate the way all of you guys are working together, because you're so professional, all of you. We do a lot of hard work, we do a lot of, it's high energy shows, and we do a lot of traveling, and I know it sucks the energy out of you. And everybody's being really cool, nobody's being grouchy. So I want to say thank you to all of you, because you're great to work with.
Thank you.
So now we're heading for Holland. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Get ready.
Get ready. Yeah. And we just feel really passionate about that hotel. It's called La Sonnerie. In Holland, when they want to make something sound nice or expensive, they use French names. So La Sonnerie basically means nothing, but somebody thought, hey, that sounds nice, let's call it La Sonnerie. But the thing is, this place, there's just something
Serene.
about it. There's nicer hotels probably, there's more elaborate hotels, but there's a kind of peace about it.
Yeah.
It was a monastery, and what I like about it is that they've respected the integrity of its original purpose, and the statues and figurines of Jesus and Maria, they are still left there and respected, and I appreciate that.
The gardens are beautiful out there.
Yes, and also the chapel is still as it was, so they've left it as it is. And I'm thinking, for a hotel where everything is about the bottom line and making money, and I get that, I really appreciate the fact that they've respected the original integrity of this building. That's so we're looking forward to that. Not all of them. I stopped at Harem Scarum. That's when it got to.
Oh, I've got two harem scary.
Scary, man.
When it got to that stuff, it got kind of weird, And girl happy. Girl happy.
Girl Happy is
Girl
not that
happy.
bad.
Oh,
That's a movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie, I think.
Yeah.
That's- most of them I couldn't finish now.
Yeah.
You have the guitar?
I just.
Right there.
What's that?
It's a couple of artists right there.
Yeah, man.
I was amazed because we were watching the videos yesterday and they were just drawing this like today.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Sorry, do you
That's
have
about
some
it.
Yeah, of course. There's none here.
You guys got the guitar?
He's got the guitar right here.
Oh, right here.
He just brought it.
Carl, don't run away.
Check it out.
What'll Carl?
See if you can get some noises out of it.
Good little Carol.
Makes a difference.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeremy Reed. Thank you.
You should play a little flamingo guitar on that.
Have you got a nice Amish song?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of a song that they may recognize from the movie they saw yesterday.
They may remember in Denmark.
Hound Dog? All right.
Denmark, they try to go here, I think.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. I said you ain't never caught a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high and fast, well, that was just a lie. You know they said you was high and fast, well, that was just a lie. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine.
You ain't nothing but a hound.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, yeah. All right, thank you.
Maybe that's what my mama.
Woo! Well, that's alright, Mama. That's alright for you. That's alright, Mama. Just any way you do. That's alright. It's alright. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright, Mama. Any way you do. Well, now, Mama, she done told me. Papa done told me too. Son, you better get out of bed. They made me boss for you. Well, that's alright. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, Mama. Any way you do. I'm trying deep, 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 deep. I need your love. Well, that's alright. Well, that's alright now, Mama. Any way you do.
There we go. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for the pictures, guys, too. Thank you. Nice. I'm collecting quite the Elvis art.
Yes,
A lot of
you are.
Elvis art this is my fourth painting.
Just wait 40 years, it'll be
Oh.
worth a couple million
And
bucks.
their signatures are even on it too. So who, Vilia, is that you? And your name is Saja? Saja? Saga? Okay, cool. My name's boring. Your name's cool. That's good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good meal.
Yes, that's
Fantastic.
great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What is it? Vilmel? No. Vilmel.
Tack för mig.
Tack för mig.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Really good.
Yeah.
zo?
Got some teak on.
Dat was on the show? Dat was on the show?
That's it.
There is I know some lyrics from this song. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was my life, and now I'm down. The blind boys of Alabama. My soul, like that. My Savior
not to do what I have done, to spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun.
So, ironically, the blind boys of Alabama, none of them are blind.
And none from Alabama.
Yeah. They all wear sunglasses, but I know somebody that went and filmed backstage at one of their concerts, and he was like, man, they walk around and do anything they want to do. There's no way they're blind.
But they're pretending they're blind?
Yes.
I think that the original members they are.
Yeah. The new ones, they didn't want to gouge their eyes out to play the band.
I think that there's still 2 or 3 of the originals. They are blind, but
Semi-blind.
We could fake that really good too, you know. Anyway, it's not the right thing to pretend.
You know, it's a lot of putting sunglasses
they're
on
not
and a lot of
blind.
this.
They're not boys. And they're always going like,
They're not from Alabama.
Stevie Wonder's been faking it for years.
Yeah, for years. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I probably won't put this on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Please don't.
Yeah, don't release that. That's a private conversation.
Exactly.
Bubba. Show me a girl with a dimple in her cheek.
Remember that one?
Buttermilks in her mouth when she opens it to
I'm
speak.
not the Marine.
Show me a girl who's acting so refined, and I'll show you a girl with one thing on her mind. So I say, you know what?
What?
She says what? I say what? No, I'm not the marrying kind. Well, you've got what it takes, and it takes what you've got, but I'm not the marrying kind. Don't kiss me, don't call me, don't pet me, don't call me. I will leave my freedom behind. So I say, you know what? She says what? I say what? I'm not the marrying kind. I'm not. Now you got what I'm not. I'm not the marrying kind. Oh, I'm not the marrying kind. Oh, I'm not the marrying kind.
Remember that one from?
Oh, yeah.
What movie was that in?
follow the dream.
Follow That Dream.
Follow That Dream. Love that. That's shot in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 20 minutes from where I.
Yeah, not far.
Yeah.
He looks great on that.
Oh, yeah.
With the almost blonde hair on that one.
Yeah, brownish.
Not that. It's real color.
I love that. I thought it was a great movie.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it. I plan on going there and filming that because the bridge and all that's still
It looks
there.
yeah, and there's even some of the original sand where they made it look like a beach. They brought all these truckloads of sand, and it's actually just like this little waterway. It's not an ocean or anything. It's just like this little creek, and they made it look like it's the ocean back there. They put sand out in front of it, but there's still some of that original sand
That's
there
very cool.
from the.
Yeah.